So, a few weeks ago, I ordered this mini table saw and it just arrived in the mail. For me, what's concerning right now is that, the package has a bit of a hole in it. This should be the 200 or 300 watt version. I think it was the 300 with the belt sander and the chuck that you can add to the side of it. So I'm curious about that, and I'm also curious about the accessories because I'm not sure which accessories they've sent me. From what I've seen on the internet, this should be about between 65 and 110 euros. So from what I see now, we are off to a great start. We have the brochure and the belt sanders, or the sanding belts actually, the blades, and the polishing tool that I will open up right now. And I guess they didn't provide the polishing compound, but I mean, I didn't even expect that, so it's okay. We have a few to choose from, like, oh yeah, and also you can also attach this one. I'm not sure what grit it is. So yeah, it's 120. We have a diamond cutting blade. I think it's diamond coated. We have the basic blade for, I think it's for wood cutting, and we have this one for metal cutting. And as I was saying, they also attach the chuck. As you can see, it's a smaller one, and they also attach some screws that one just fell out. We have some basic tools for it, and I think this is the protection piece that you put above the blade. It's I think it's polycarbonate. So we have the AC adapter. From what I can see, the output is from 12 to 19 volts, 9.5 amperes max, and from what I can tell, this feels extremely cheap. And you have the slider, I guess, for the power, but it feels extremely cheap. It's super light, but we'll see if it does its job. I don't give a shit. Before that, I see that we have another blade. This can be also used for cutting non-ferrous metals. I also read this on their website. Actually, I read it on AliExpress because I got it from there, but I also saw it on Temu. We'll see about that. I will be putting it to the test. I will be cutting some aluminum with it, but that will be later. For now, we want to see the main attraction. So there you have it. It's actually, I can tell you, it's quite heavy. It has a good feel to it. Maybe not the best build quality, but it's okay. You have the part where you push the material from. You have the part where you attach the sanding belts, and on the other side you can attach the chuck. And as I was saying, it says, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says 200 watts. Well, on the website it said 300, and that basically is not the same, but I'm pretty sure we can deal with that. As you can see, it has the two buttons, one for the main blade and the other one for the sanding belt, and it has some adjustable feet with some rubber on it that you can just screw out. And I'm pretty sure this shouldn't look like this, so it came broken. Other than that, from what I see, it's all good.
Now that we already done the unboxing, the next logical step would be to unbox the table saw itself. And honestly, it's almost as easy as opening the box it came in. You just remove the 4 screws that hold the top plate in place. Inside, there's nothing particularly exciting, just 2 motors. One motor drives the saw blade and the axle where you attach the chuck, and the second motor is dedicated to the belt sander. That probably explains why this unit is rated at around 200 watts. I've seen similar mini table saws online that only have the blade and are rated at about 90 watts. So my guess is that this model simply uses two of the same motors instead of one. That's also why the advertised 300 watt rating feels a bit optimistic. When I first powered it on, it was making a strange noise. Since the motors are only mounted using thin sheet metal brackets, I was able to slightly adjust the angle and that fixed the issue. I also rerouted the cables so they wouldn't rub against the motor shaft, which helped as well. Since the machine was already taken apart, I decided to install a small wood cutting blade at this point. It's much easier to do it this way than reinstalling the top and then trying to work underneath it. And while we are on the topic of blades, it's worth mentioning that the blade height is not adjustable on this machine. Installing the blade itself is straightforward. You remove the screw and the retaining plate, sandwich the blade between the two metal pieces and tighten everything back down. Just make sure the blade is installed in the correct cutting direction. After that, all that was left was to install the top plate. Once that was done, I added the sanding belt. To do this, you press the pulley inward and slide the belt into place. And finally, I attach the rip fence, which helps keep the workpiece straight during cuts. For the first test cut, I chose balsa wood. It's thin, easy to work with, and realistically that's the type of material many people will use this saw for. And as you can see, it does cut it, but the result is a bit rough. A quick pass on the sanding belt cleans it up nicely. Some people might want to use this machine for more demanding tasks, so I decided to push it a bit further. But before doing that, I made a few changes. While the sanding belt is a nice feature, I don't think it was fully thought through. It leaves only about 4 inches or roughly about 10 centimeters of clearance from the blade. That's not ideal if you want to cut anything longer. So I removed the upper pulleys by taking the top off again, and while I was there I swapped the blade for a wider carbide tipped one. The next test was a thicker piece of pine wood. The saw managed to cut it, but this is where the lack of safety features become very obvious. The biggest issue for me is how light the machine is. When you push the material into the blade, you're also pushing the entire saw. You could bolt it down, but if you already have a permanent setup for a table saw, you probably wouldn't be buying a mini one like this in the first place. The cut itself was decent, although you can clearly see the saw struggling with larger pieces. Since it was a carbide tipped blade, I also wanted to test aluminum. I chose a 2020 T-slot extrusion since I had one lying around. Going slowly, it did manage to cut it, but the cut wasn't as straight as I would have liked. That's mainly due to some play in the meter gauge and because the piece was long and I had to remove the rip fence entirely. After cutting the aluminum, I tested the orbital sander function. To use it, you first attach the included chuck, which is secured with a few screws. Then you install a small threaded adapter and screw on the plastic holder for the sandpaper. You can also attach a polishing disc, but since I didn't have any polishing compound at home, I skipped that part. Overall, my take on this machine is simple. If you can find it at a good price, it might be worth considering. Otherwise, I think you can get better tools for the same money, even if they are not in an all-in-one solution. This machine makes the most sense if you are very limited on space. That said, it doesn't feel particularly safe to use, and that's something you should seriously keep in mind. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other ones and don't forget to subscribe.